This is called I is smiling. Everything always is, I is. As in, I is happy, is tired. Even to negate it is, I is not tired, I is not go to bed, with Churchillian scowl and foot stamp for emphasis. I used to love your construction, the simple syntax of your sentences. Tilly and Mummy is girl? Dónall is not girl? Now I was remembering you, just as you was. Recall your words just as they is. And I is smiling.
Yeah, lovely one.
I hope that wasn't too mumbly.
No,
No,
it was very, very clear.
that would be the Irish eye that is smiling, right?
Oh no, you did it nice. I love those two
Could
poems.
you get a real poet on, please?
Jeremy.
Jeremy, that's it.
I vote for Jeremy to go next. Go on.
Okay. Well, that's about being a real poet, but anyway, I'll read you some poems. I'll crack on. Great to be here as ever. Great to be sharing poetry with this like-minded group of people. So thank you, Jan and Dónall, again for organising this. Let's start with a slightly angry poem called Pecking Order. On our worst days, our darkest days, first you peck me, then I peck you, and that's all we really seem to do. And in this trap, we seem helpless, unable to escape this dance of destruction. First you peck me, then I peck you. That's all we really seem to do in our worst days, our darkest days. It wouldn't be so bad, this mindless, knee-jerk cycle of retaliation, if it were just personal, individual, and not how nation treats nation. That's the real tragedy of our situation. Maybe it's time to break out, try a new conversation. I get so sick of this old, worn-out, screwed-up routine. Not just tragic, it's obscene. First you peck me, then I peck you. That's all we ever seem to do. Moving on to something perhaps slightly more cheerful. I often think that reality, you can kind of divide it into two realities. One is the objective scientific reality of the world around us, and then there's the reality of our mental states, our inner reality. So this is called Kitchen Drawer. Today, it seems, my mind's like the kitchen drawer. Half the things I don't remember what they're for. Jumbled, kaleidoscopic. My mind's like the kitchen drawer. Old batteries run down, spill out, and cascade to the floor. Faded sellotape that's no good anymore. And yellow matchboxes with sides too smooth and worn to scrape a spark, a flame of cognition. Everything seems better days, and nothing seems to know its place. Leftover soup, a minestrone of lost position, spaghetti strings unraveling in tangles of hopeless indecision. In frustration, I shake the drawer, triggering rattles, chaotic collisions, but no lucidity, no clarity of mental vision. My mind's like the kitchen drawer. Most likely some time before I would have known what most of this was for. But today I'm just not sure. Last one. Space, I don't know about you, but space has always fascinated me right from when I was a kid, right from sitting in the front row of the Odeon watching 2001, right up till recently to seeing that great film Gravity with Sandra Bullock and who's it, George Clooney. And I've always been fascinated with the idea of what it must feel like to be in space. It's on my bucket list, but I don't think I'm ever going to make it somehow. So this is called Ant on a Dinner Plate. They tried. Yes, they tried in those long days at the NASA training labs, submerged in water tanks for neutral gravity, learning to do clumsy jobs in big gloves and puffy suits. Gravity gone and everything so slow and silent, only the tidal rhythm of your own breathing washing through your brain. And in the vastness of the Mojave Desert, on long, lonely walks into emptiness, they tried to prepare you for the overwhelming scale of your isolation. But in the end, nothing gets close, not even remotely. Nothing gets close. Step out of the airlock. Clip onto the first rung outside the hatch and feel yourself start floating away into the abyss, into infinity. You are adrift. And as you pull yourself back in on the tether rope, you are trembling. A tinge of relief as your boots touch the shell of the spacecraft, something firm again beneath your feet. So strange how our lives are full of circles. Behind you, the giant Earth shines, terrifying in its beauty, huge and white, and set against it, there you stand in minute silhouette, twitching like an ant on a dinner plate. Thank you.
Oh, wow, that was lovely. Three very, very lovely poems.
Jeremy, we've started a GoFundMe page to send your ashes into space. I hope you'll be able to feel it. Like, I don't know, but
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, I'd be up for that. Oh, sorry, this is not a bad pun, but I'd be up for that.
And now Daphne. Daphne, would you like to read, please?
I've got a couple of almost Christmassy poems. One's in here.
Oh, yes.
Nativity plays. It's that time of year, isn't it? At my daughter's school, the tallest girl in the school was the angel Gabriel, and the youngest girl in the school was the Virgin Mary. And this particular evening, the angel Gabriel had been celebrating the good news a little early. And it's called The Tallest Girl in the School Announces the Good News. The archangel is very well endowed.
Sorry.
Thank you. Gabrielle rather than Gabriel. Wavering on stage from off stage left. Fried hair following botched home perm. Halo absent. Wings awry. Waves at Virgin Mary. I bring tidings. Tidings? Tidings good. Vague movement of angelic hand. Your preggers. Angel wanders off stage right. Glad tidings. Ha! Drifts back from the darkened wings. The Virgin Mother, youngest girl in school, cocooned in half a roll of blue velvet, looks unimpressed, as does headmistress, who half rises from her seat as audience laughs. Head sits down. There will be a reckoning later. Mary, flushed with heat, not joy, ignores baby Jesus, appears transfixed by ancient stuffed sheet with wobbly legs, gently subsiding to its knees as front legs give way. 8 shepherds appear. Sheepskin boots, hands holding broomsticks with cardboard crooks, dance clumping and thumping on the wooden floor. 3 kings process, followed by camel train with multicoloured legs, multiple humps. Only one head, but several tails. The audience, by now in several shades of pain, rocks with silent laughter as the choir sings, "Way in manger, once in Royal David's city." And it's a very long time ago, and it still makes me ache. We were absolutely aching with laughter. None of the parents dared look at each other, as you can imagine. Moving on a generation. And coincidentally, this is my eldest grandson who got to that stage where he wasn't quite sure about Father Christmas, but he was passionately interested in space, Jeremy. A letter to Gran, in case Santa's busy. Dear Gran, have you remembered my birthday 4 days before Christmas? I have a list, a spaceship named Elizabeth to take me to the distant stars, and out beyond the galaxy. And do you know that Mars is cold despite glowing red like Santa's coat? And no one lives on the moon, not even the Gloucestershire hare, and it's not made of cheese of any colour. Pluto's not really a planet, it's a dwarf. My teacher says I'm not allowed to say that. I don't know why. It doesn't seem fair, because Pluto's got 5 moons. I'll tell you all about them soon, and he did. Anything Harry Potter would make me happy. I can read him by myself, you know. I've got a space encyclopedia and a microscope, but a telescope would come in handy. Not Jodrell Bank, it's too big, but something I can carry or keep on a stand in my bedroom so I can watch the stars when I'm supposed to be asleep. Mummy and Daddy don't need to know about this. You won't tell them, will you, Gran? A dinosaur would be good for my little brother. He's very fussy, wants only Spinosaurus, not T-Rex. Do you know which one has the harder bite? Can you find out, please? I don't really like chocolate, but could you wrap everything in shiny sweetie paper? It looks lovely and makes such lovely crackly sounds. And Gran, this is really important. Can you do all this today? And have you put it in the post? Love from me and from my little brother.
Oh, I was sort of waiting for another one. They were lovely. Very Christmassy. I think I remember that one about the Christmas list. I
Oh
think
gosh, have I read it before?
a couple of years
It's
ago.
years ago. It was all
Yes.
done on the phone, and he was
I
still
think
doing
you've added
circular
to it
movies.
or changed it a little bit because, if anything, it's better
Oh,
than it was
thank you.
when I first heard it. Thank you very much. And now we're going to hear from Phil. Phil Lawder.
Hi, good evening. 4 quick poems for you tonight. First one is called Night Shift. Last Thursday, I woke at my usual 5:30 and found, and this was a surprise, I could think of nothing to worry about. Disappointed, I went back to sleep. Lying awake with cement-churning brain has become for me over the years a symbol of status, maturity's sign. I'm engaged with the human condition. It's often mundane, tomorrow's must-dos, sometimes bizarre and featuring crabs, the classic corridor never ending, and those giant inflatable llamas. You see, it's not about bringing world peace. I concede that this much is clear, but among all the crabs and the llamas and stuff, there lurks the fear of forgetting. I've tried having paper and pen by the bed to note down the stubborn not dones, lest they vanish with daylight's barging intrusion, but the technique somehow evades. First, I have to remember the fact that I have these tools close to hand, then find my specs without spilling the water, and try not to write on the duvet. Morning shows words quite illegible, snackering pigeons, neolite chunks. So it's stare at the ceiling, think of mnemonics to lodge in some cranial crevasse. Back in my youth, I'd be 8 hours motionless, dreaming of wickets and conkers and goals, then up with the day like a spring-loaded rabbit, expecting delight and usually right. Though I can't get back there, perhaps I can learn next time to think about Tizer and jelly, Chock bars and dens and 3 goals and you're in, and let the world bumble along on its own. The next one, like most people, my generation in Britain, my schooling was all about logic and how important logic was, and it was not about anything to do with the important stuff in life, like emotions and all that sort of stuff. So this is about that. This poem is called The Limits of Logic. A man of quiet elegance, words for him precision instruments, neat as the books on his walnut shelves, arrow sharp to win the point. His métier, debate, not conversation. Until, poor fool, he fell in love, and all his honed vocabulary lay in a box and shrugged. Can't help you here, old chap. You need that casket over there, the dusty one with badly fitting lid, jumbled, all filed under And so he grappled with darlings and dreams, with roses and moons and sighs and delight, until these fuzzy edges brought clarity, opened a door he did not know was there. Now, whether she stays or goes, he knows those cut glass words were just too sharp. Precision was a flat and wasted world, and losing brings its own persuasive joy. The third one I actually wrote during lockdown, but I was looking at it again recently and I realized it has a sort of a wider relevance and wider relevance. It's called Today's Plan. Today, we'll not walk down the street, not run our fingers through the lavender at number 37, not complain about the litter in the alleys by the garage, not laugh at the small ads in the newsagent with their misspellings and suspected secrets and codes. We'll not argue about which coffee shop. You'll not tell me to avoid the cake, and I will not ignore you and have it anyway. We'll not walk home in calm, companionable silence. Tomorrow, I expect, we'll not do it all again. And finally, one that is unashamedly sentimental because of the time of year and everything that's going to be coming at us over the next few weeks. And it's called Welcome Ghosts of Christmas Past. Tripping and tumbling on toys and tinsel, I'm slipping through cracks in the years to fire-flickered rooms in old other places, patterned carpets and wallpaper stripes, pine and turkey and logs in the grate, the glorious, gaudiest festival of the year, all wrapped up in badly tied ribbon. I'm there, the short-trousered, polo-necked boy. Doleful-eyed spaniel lies at my side, my confidant, constant, bewildered. I hear the susurrus of soft adult voices, and there, just beyond the lights of the tree, stand the shadows and shades of those earlier days, the hands that mapped me, my life's scaffolding. I welcome them all with a raise of my glass and those smiles that I get in return. Bring near tearful joy to this place and this time, and will carry me through all the days of my year. That's it.
That was really beautiful. In fact, they were all lovely poems. You were going to do a book, weren't you? Have you done that book yet?
Yeah, the ever receding book. Yeah,
I've still got a
I
file
have
that says
several
Bill
versions.
Lawder's book.
Hmm?
I still
Yeah.
have a file in my computer saying Bill Lawder's book, question mark.
Right.
But I'm not offering because at the moment we can't do
No,
anything.
of course, I understand that.
I was just
Um,
interested to know if you got it going.
Yeah, I got it going and going and going and stopping and going and turning
Yeah.
around and coming back. And every 2 or 3 months, I spread them all out on the sitting room floor, you know, and walk around them and put them in little groups and put them away again.
Well,
Yeah, I must.
it has to be done, and one day it'll stop.
It
and you'll
has
a
to be
book.
done. You're absolutely right. I really must get my head around it. Yeah.
I'm not telling you to. You're going about it quite the right way. Oh,
I'm starting all right. I'm just not finishing. Yeah, I need to get
We're a
on.
fan club anyway.
yes, we are. We think they're
Oh,
lovely
thank
poems
you. That's
read
kind.
tonight.
Yeah.
So, yes, good. And now, Chrys Salt is back. That's great to see you, Chrys. And now you're based in London again, aren't you?
Yes, we are. You can see more of us now.
Yes, that's good. So,
anyway, I've got 3 Christmas poems, and the first one is called Waltz Time, and it's rooted in my visits to visit some very dear people in an old people's home, and it's about music and how music has proved to be very powerful in helping dementia patients reach memories and emotions. It's called Waltz Time. They're doing the Alzheimer waltz, the 1, 2, 3 Alzheimer waltz. The tune is an oldie beyond all recall, but they pivot and twirl on a sixpence of dreams. His suit, double-breasted, her stockings with seams, all sense disconnected, unplugged from the wall. They're doing the Alzheimer waltz. Waltz of forgetfulness, danced in a wilderness caught between somewhere and been there before. They know all the steps, but don't know what they're for in the 1, 2, 3 Alzheimer waltz. They're doing the Alzheimer waltz, the 1, 2, 3 Alzheimer waltz, on snub, slippered feet that forget they remember the dance tunes of springtime in dying December. They shimmy and swirl, light, fantastic, unerring, a dashing young soldier, a slip of a girl in the 1, 2, 3 Alzheimer waltz. Waltz of forgetfulness, danced in a wilderness caught between somewhere and been there before. They know all the steps but can't think what they're for in the 1, 2, 3 Alzheimer waltz. They're doing the Alzheimer waltz, the 1, 2, 3 Alzheimer waltz, and the lights on the tree are as bright as the light in the eyes of the dancers who take to the floor in the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 Alzheimer waltz. The next one is another Christmas one, and it's a particular old lady that I grew very fond of, who was, she told me she was 1 year, 7 months, 3 days older than a century. And she was, bless her. I saw her last on Christmas Day, kissed her eggshell skull pearly under a froth of new perm, like a butterfly landing. Her woody fingers sprouted nails as bright as berries for the season. Her feet, a pair of 2 big slippers, furry and brand new. She was going to a great nephew in Walthamstow, she said, for turkey. She thought the lights on the tree were lovely, and the flowers sent by a Jamaican lady were lovely, and the little brooch I gave her, that was lovely too. When I got back from holiday, she wasn't there. Someone I didn't know was in her chair, nodding and smiling. Heart grief came hot, quick, suddenly spilling over, and typical, no hanky. I saw her last on Christmas Day. She thought everything was lovely. She was wearing her best going to church in blue. And the last one is a love poem I wrote to my husband a long, long time ago, called Daffodils at Christmas. Gay as a blackbird's beak, your daffodils unbud and burst into frilled trumpets this Christmas morning, bringing a torch of freshness to the season's ritual, reminding the heart's cold bulb of its green, forgotten centre. Better to have left the corner bare than focus this bright beam on the chill comfort I have grown to. Better not to dare this incandescent flame, for fear its clear and unexpected shining blinds me into love. And sweeter than sap, your gentleness enters my bones, calling my roots to draw up joy again.
Thank you, Chris. They were beautiful poems.
Magnificent.
The first one should have some music put to it.
It has had some music put to it.
It has.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yes, and it's actually it's from this book, my selected poems, which has a photograph on it, which is rather
Lovely photo.
the real thing.
Yes.
There you go. Thank you for having me again.
Well, it is lovely to have you here. Anybody who wants to advertise a book or something that they're doing
Put
on
the chat
you're very welcome to do that. You can actually copy that chat. Anybody can just copy and paste it to a Word document or something if you want to keep it. In fact, I think it was Caroline. No, somebody, Audrey. Yeah, Audrey Ardern-Jones had a book bought by somebody who was here last time, and you know, well, we all want to sell our books if we can. Great. Aaron. Yes, back to give us some more. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
I mean, lots of tender, very beautiful poems. Mine are going to be completely silly. And I'm doing a show on Christmas Eve at the Camden Comedy Club called I'm a Terebrity. And it's about my involvement with the security forces over the years. So if you want to come along, Camden Comedy Club, the Camden Head on the corner of Pratt Street and Camden, I think it's Camden High Street. So that's in the chat, literally in the chat. Okay, so start off with a silly limerick. A neurotic young lady of Vienna, obsessed with Carl Jung's young wife Emma, when she told Dr. Freud, he replied, quite annoyed, "Und what's wrong mit my Yiddish Mama?" Now, I was thinking, of course, about the whole bardic tradition, which is an oral tradition. What would be the equivalent today? And I thought, it came to me, as I say, poetry. I remember Michael Rosen saying one of the major things in poetry is rhythm, and I thought if poetry is about rhythm, then surely, and if our cathedrals are sports stadiums, then the sports commentator has inherited the bardic tradition. So this is my poem to my poem to homage to the whole commentary thing. If poetry is all about rhythm, then sports commentary is the cathode ray oral chrism, anointing both ball and heads of modern modemed man and woman. They think it's all over. It is now. Oh, it must be. It is. Peter With. This is Gareth Edwards. A dramatic score. What a score! And still Ricky Vere. It's up for grabs more now, and so many more. Vocal shimmies of Brian Moore accompanying the jockeying of Bobby Moore. The scan and prosody, the sports pantheon of Olympic verbal velocity. For me, the names Motti, Wussenholm, Cliff Morgan's ronda tone are the Logie Baird bards, their spat-out passion studding the air with pulsing pixel elegiac fashion, a digital transmission of oral transmission, the heroic tale of oral flair, firing up the clan, staring into the flickering light emitting flames, dancing a step over the charcoal cables, the foot and meter of the final foot and meter, receiving the bardic ball from the shaman, passed to Tennyson, passed to Motson, volleyed to Maskell, thrown from the Druids to Shakespeare to Arlott, bowling us over and over, never letting us fall flat. How's that? With spin on steeple chasing passion tone. Galloping garrulousness from tripping tongue, and there's rhythmic larynx making a challenge, but still galloping garrulousness is holding up, and we're into the final stanza. I can't stand the pressure. Galloping garrulousness from tripping tongue, and now here comes still Ricky Villanelle as they round the rhotics into couplings, couplet, and still galloping garrulousness is holding up the challenge from still Ricky Villanelle and tripping tongue as well into the final line. I can't separate the meter from the scan or the prosody from the comedy, the pros and cons. Let the silliness not diminish. It must be a poeto finish. There we go. That's that.
Oh, I thought you were going to do another one, Aaron. That's fantastic. That the poet as the commentator as bard. Very good.
I think that's 5 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah,
I wasn't. I
pretty
was
good going.
carried away. I wasn't counting. Well done. Thank you. That was lovely. And Ray, follow that, Ray.
Oh, not easily. Not
No,
easily.
it's not easy.
I'll try and keep my voice.
It's up to you. Go on, you can do
I'll
it.
try and go the other way and be as slow and drawn out as possible as an antidote.
Thanks for warning us.
No disrespect. Lots of respect for that. Oh, Chris, I just wanted to say that I got that book of yours when I saw you at the Keep. It was the one book I bought from you, and it had that poem in there, so it was rather poignant. The fact that I listened to it again. So that was nice. Anyway, what we've got is 3 short poems. The first one is called Working Up to It. Carefully study maritime ocean charts, becoming thoroughly familiar with them. When you're proficient, start on aerial reconnaissance maps, reading them under some pressure. After that, try and master piano scales and arpeggios to a high standard in every key. When you are truly satisfied, turn your attention to the study and analysis of poets and poetry. That's that. Full of mystery. Now, this second poem actually was, I was quite pleased that Right Out Loud got on to me and said they'd like to put this in the Advent calendar. Well, I wasn't quite sure what that involves, but they said it was a popular poem that I put on, so I delved back and reprinted it, and here it is. It's called Pressing Matters, a vignette. There's an intimacy here of tyres on gravel. One must be ready for arrivals. But most episodes come to nothing. Then the ignoring silence is complete.
Your chair still supports you in its jacket of dull brown leather. No news in the lane today, nor any other day, and yet the sound persists, a memory of wide sweeps on country house drives, a sad lament of murders in libraries. You thought you'd nodded off, somehow losing track of time. It must be the sound of tyres on gravel pressing lightly on the bed of your dreams. Thank you. Thank you very much. This last one is an actual person that I met quite a few times while performing music. And he turned up like a bad penny on live functions. Enthusiast. I never got to know his name, preferring him anonymous. The jazz enthusiast. He would come towards me with his devoted dog's face, but I generally avoided him. A very big man who sat with legs wide apart, close to the band, wearing a Hawaiian shirt, even during the winter. He probably thought it gave him a mid-Atlantic air. He was like a cairn on a mountain at the pinnacle of knowledge, ready to beat us at our own game, with the biographical details of performers, release dates of their LPs, CDs, secrets of the Harlem streets, and the New Orleans blues scene. His smile would be fixed, eyes haunted in a reverie of spittle and recollection. He knew all the English hotel bands in Mayfair. When did a bomb fall on the Café de Paris? He would know. Where did De Bryce Summers work? He would know. That his flies were undone, he did not know. He would heckle if a band solo was not the original version, then offer a mock apology. Mastermind would have been a Dónall. Thank you.
That last portrait's particularly good. I love that.
Oh, thank you.
You can just see him.
Yeah, it's hard not to. Yeah, definitely to avoid.
Lovely.
Okay, so
Now, who we have? Oh, Gerald. Is Gerald here? Oh dear. I don't think Gerald's made it. He's had trouble with his email. He got hacked. He got hacked, and of course, people have reported it, and I think AOL have cancelled his email. I'll put him in next time. I'll put him on January because it's not his fault he's not here. So we go on to Liz. Liz Conn, please.
yes.
There you are, Liz.
Thanks, Janice. It's nice to be here again. I've got 3 poems. I hope the timing's okay. Actually span 3 continents and sort of 6 decades. Yeah, so the first one is when I was about 6 in Sierra Leone, in capital Freetown, called That Time When I Was Sick in Front of the President's House. Back then, you could get near the power if you had a car, if you had the nerve to try. His residency, it was cool back then. The head of state wasn't ringed with steel. A new era, a passing of the old. Mum stopped the car with a screech. A Citroën 2CV could park in full view. If they had guns, were there any on show? I tumbled out, only just in time, unaware of the president-elect. There was only ever one way this would end. tarmac drive, red earth, green shoots, white paint, shady palms, sweaty palms, independence, shaking off white rule. A pristine guard, poker straight, looked away. A little girl crouching in the dust. Later on, he would laugh with his friends. The second one was back in England, in Worcestershire, where we lived for a good length of time. And I was probably about 11 or 12. It's called Trespass. I knew as soon as he walked in that I had done something wrong by taking the chocolate from behind the clock. Fries, chocolate cream, wrapper promising minty sweetness, dark bitter casing. The look on his face said it all. The sudden movement. Did he snatch it from my hands? Or is that the sense I still hold? The rush of cocoa hit, countered by what felt to me like rage. Even at 10, I knew the punishment didn't fit the crime. Daddy's disapproval at this aberration in my usual flawless record. This stung, but so too the confusion. It wasn't a big deal. What would the Quaker Fry have thought of his sweet offering to the world being made into an object of guilt and shame? Now, I know I wasn't greedy, thieving, or thoughtless. Just a child reaching out behind a family timepiece to seize a moment, to taste the sweet, novel flavours, to feel them in my mouth, melting and melding, breaking boundaries I didn't know were there. And the last one, so it was in February, Chinese New Year this year in Malaysia. We have family there, and we were there, and my granddaughter Clara was there, and other cousins who live in Malaysia. And it was, Year of the Wood Snake. City waking up, my dawn hour fades. Cars, kitchen clattering, morning sounds build. It's our last day here. A plush cat tops the gate. 2 swans bob on wavelets. In bizarre mural round the pool. KL suburb Airbnb has Albra's genteel vibe. Beside the swans, a blue panelled hut on stilts at the end of a narrow pier. Fusion of English seaside nostalgia and traditional Malay home. Later gathered, Clara's hair strawberry blonde, cousins silky black, lengths and styles as varied as their cheongsams. Classic one-pieces, vibrant, fruity colours, fit for New Year. A 2-piece, versatile, top can dress down with jeans. Girl cousins, 5 beauties. Then Min Yu, the youngest, cradling Clara to his shoulder, 18, confident yet gentle. She wraps her arms around him, feels like Dada. Thank you.
They're beautiful memories. Where was it the first poem was about? Was it Sri Lanka?
No, actually Sierra Leone,
Sierra Leone.
West Africa. I lived there for a number of years on and off. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely memory, interesting memories. Lovely. Now we've got a lot more people. We've got Gary Day next. Gary, would you like to read for us? Saw you here earlier. Oh, you're not mute. You're not unmuted.
Where is he?
Down there. Down there. There you are. No. Try again. Nope. Still muted, I'm afraid.
Ah,
Oh,
there we
that's
go.
it. That's it.
Right, okay, sorry about that.
No problem.
I've got 3 poems. 2 are about love and 1 is about a funeral. So love wins 2-1, but you know, death gets us all in the end, really. So this is the first one. It's just called Seeing. She vanished downstairs, leaving him to gaze at this familiar landscape where she dressed, undressed and dreamed, seeing it as if for the first time. The bookcases stuffed with novels, the chiffon scarf draped over the freestanding mirror, the miniature megaliths of perfume bottles arranged in a crooked circle on top of a chest of drawers where glittering streams of bracelets ran past tiny satellites of earrings scanning the moons of her ceiling. So great a scattering of stories, clothing, scent, jewellery, to assemble someone not herself. Yet how eloquently and feelingly each praised her name, which he sang over to himself again and again. On one wall, a painting of a poppy, the centre of the flower in close-up, as if that could make him know it any better. This one is called Innocence, and somebody mentioned earlier about a sentimental poem, and I think this may qualify. A winter's night and falling snow, making the street as silent as these awkward adolescents. She admiring his jacket, he enchanted by the flakes settling on her dark curls. Dad called her in. His mum took him south. 50 years melted away. So much of life gone before they met again. Her hair still white from that long ago night. And then this one is Funeral. And it was written at the funeral of a poet called Sally Durham, who had a very good volume called I Left My Hair in San Francisco. The small Anglo-Saxon church is packed. Latecomers must stand. On the walls, faded frescoes of Judgment Day. Grief will barely let him speak, pulls at his throat like a leash. The mourners are tense. Candle flames flap uselessly. She had been the one for words, rescuing them from drudgery, lovingly restoring them in poems. He glances back at the wicker casket, but she can't help him. He's on his own. If words were wood, what shapes he'd make to mark his loss. Yet broken speech leaks love more true than flows in smoother sentences. And so his tongue stumbles, recounting where they met, when they married, and the daughter they adopted from a cold crib, cradling her gently through the Russian snow that followed them all the way home. Mourners disperse like her last breath, gather again on a green hill to see her planted, oh so gently, in the damp December earth, where, in time, her body will compose all the poems that cancer aborted, transcribing them as ordinary wonders: soil, sunflower, birdsong. That's it.
That is beautiful. That funeral poem is very, very lovely. And yeah, in fact, all 3 of them are love poems.
Thank you.
They're very, very nice. Thank you. Carolyn, would you like to read, please? Can you unmute? Carolyn O'Connell.
Yep.
There
Sorry, the only one. I've got it. first one I'm going to read follows the last theme, but comes back to Richmond as well, and those days. Remembering, since I came to the Weaver's Bank, leaving the Thames' proud shores, I see you walking past my door, a boy in a grey suit on his way to school. That white school is no more. The Grange school's grown, fills the road. The primary is on another side. It's famed round the country's roads. I'll see you walking past my door with boys of every age engaged with talk, their phones, mobiles. They came after you left. I see you grown with Caroline, sitting side by side in that basement room at the top of Ormond Road. Yours were always rhymed and fun, whatever the subject. You brought joy. We'll remember them and you, for you are rhyming in the sky, writing in the clouds, the winds that kiss the weaver's waves, sweeping your words from to Mortlake's bank and Heather's dining room. Yeah. That was a poet in the original group that I was in Richmond when I first started. We did there. This is totally different, but also was a gift. It's called The Gift. You rang unexpectedly, asking to come, brought cakes and a painting of an Italian house you loved. I was surprised at such an unexpected gift. Now on my walls, its white walls, red roofs, rise from a lake shore. A green boat waits for a passenger to board its hold, steer it onto the lake. You and your dreams riding on the waves, looking at the house, the horizon, conceiving, writing. And it's just a quiet, and the last one is just from quite short, and it was just one from a shell that was picked up on part of a collection shell, twisting, white curls touched with pink, tiny curls sheltering an infant fish. Now gone with the waves, the white nape gapes, twisting, flicking, as the spume swallows.
Yes.
That's those are three.
That's very, such a delicate image, that last one. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Lovely.
It was, yeah.
Thank you, Carolyn.
That's my offering for tonight. Sorry, I've got an awful cold.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So it's.
But you did read. You read fine.
Thank you. If I suddenly vanish, you know why.
You go and get a hot toddy and go to bed.
I think I will. I'm sorry not to, but
don't worry. I'm glad you came along.
I'm on the edge of
yeah, you need some rest.
Yes.
Thank you, Caroline.
Bye and goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
And we'll ask Roger Bloor to read now. Roger's here, I'm sure. Yes, there you are.
Thanks, Jenna.
Hello, Roger.
Hello. So one of the joys of living here on the Isle of Man is that you can sit by the sea and people watch to collect information and facts for poems. So here's one that was written as I sat on Laxey Beach. It's called Everyone Has Secrets, and as a subtitle, Stieg Larsson rewrites Jackie Collins. A lady with a nervous cough, straw hat and walking stick, sits cross-legged down on Laxey Beach, reading surreptitiously a well-thumbed copy of a chick-lit Mills and Boon. You may have thought that in her dreams she sees herself begin to swoon as queues of tight, rich gentlemen wait on the promenade to take her off to somewhere out of reach of all the mundane troubles and concerns that tie her down to what the world would call reality. But in her dream she has tattoos, an inch-long wasp inked on her neck, a dragon on her shoulder blade, Beretta pistol loaded in her bag. So if those tight rich gentlemen should take just one step closer, she has 6 shots to make her point, and 6 more in the magazine in case they didn't hear her say, "Why don't you try and make my day?" We also have some quaint and strange independent coffee houses on the island, and this was in one of them. It's called Customer 804. I ordered coffee from the girl who had a laminated badge pinned above her heart that said, "Call me Mandy." Her eyelashes, black as the medium one-shot no-milk Americano I ordered, threw shadows on her cheeks from mood lights cupped in upturned copper bowls suspended far above her head. When she brought Americano for Roger over to my table, I said, "Thanks, Mandy," and reached to rest my hand an inch above her arm, as close to flesh on flesh that could be expected from such a brief acquaintance. I asked her if the row of novelty teapots on the shelf above the door belonged to her. She hesitated, lowered her head snug against my face and whispered, "No, they're shit," before she walked away. And I apologise to Judith because she heard this poem last night at another Zoom meeting. So my wife and I earlier last year were thinking about getting a puppy, and we were talking about it a lot and looking things up, and every post on every bit of social media I had a puppy on it. And so this is called Alexa, You're Fired. The internet is sitting on my shoulder, and every day it's getting bolder. It eavesdrops, mind reads, engineers posts and feeds and video clips to mirror my desires and reinforce the needs and wants it overhears or harvests from my Facebook page. And now it's sitting in my head, remembering each word I've ever said, one mention of a vague idea like getting a puppy for a pet, and every photo of a canine ball of fluff that's ever been posted on the net begins to flood my message box until I break and say, "Enough of this." I've come off X, deleted TikTok, ditched my Insta and WhatsApp accounts, but still the dog-related ads and videos ping and drop like hordes of lemmings in the spring until I'm driven to the edge and make one of the ultimate sacrifices to kill the power to all of my devices. Oh, frabjous day, Callooh Callay, the yapping mutts have gone away, and all my hopes and aspirations, thoughts and private conversations are once more mine and mine alone. For sale, one surplus mobile phone. Thank you.
Do you know, I've often had that thought, that last poem. It really is an invasion, isn't it? It's an intrusion. There's a great version of it too. So Alison Mace, could we hear from you now, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're a little bit muffled. If you could come a little bit closer.
Thank you, Janice, for including me. I've got 2 poems. The first one you may have heard because, Janice, you read it for me at the competition reading because I couldn't be there, but I wanted a chance to read it. And it's about driving. It's a poem in 3 parts. Driving, a nice thing, you go for a spin on the road, but I have always been terribly aware of the danger of
hurtling about in a ton and a half of glass and metal. And I've always wondered what being in a really bad accident would do to me, whether I would ever be the same person again. So this is that thought. Rules of the road. Rules made to be broken, kept, broken, no, kept. The rules of the road to be kept by us all, because sensible, know what they're doing, the people who made them, to keep us all safe. Not these others who come out in front of me, cut off my side of the, step on it just as I will overtake her, straddle the double, and blimey, how could they? Are texting and snacking and snogging and snoozing with me alongside or in front or behind and too fast and in fear for my. What if all screeching and smashing, my bumper and mirror and windscreen and glasses, the car on its back and my head on the carriageway, bang goes an airbag and bang goes my pelvis or ankle or femur or sanity, all of them. Criminals, louts, and that horn playing tunes getting louder, distorted, an ambulance, decibels, deafening decibels, headlights in dark. If any of mine, any child, anyone, doesn't bear thinking of, never go out again, curl up in bed with the pillows piled high and pulled tight round my ears, go back to the womb and the warm and before. Rather different is a poem called To the River. I've always wondered what it is fishing, and it's very lives. They're having a quick nap, so I've tried to get into the inside of what it is that fishing means to men. To the river. Come in, ladies, welcome, come in, come in. George, oh no, he's not here today, gone fishing. George is away already, off with his flask and his pasty, off in his old red van on the road to the river. The river. Even the word is making him feel good, at ease with himself. As he rattles along, he's grinning. On the bank, he unloads, sets up, rod, tackle, bait, his chair with the sheltering back, his hat, lunch, water. Heat net slips down through the slow-moving flow at the edge. If there's anything in it by evening or not, doesn't matter. He's here. And he sighs with content and carefully baits the hook. Allows his eyes to wander everywhere over the water. Opposite, willows are just now coming into leaf, swaying, delicate green like vertical, rich seams. And the blue sky is full of slowly moving clouds that change the river's quiet surface every minute. Its tiny currents waft long trailing weeds above the sand and pebbles. Now he can just be still. Watch for quick dragonflies and water boatmen, timid water bowl, if he's lucky, even an otter. But nothing matters. His mind, purified, sinks below the surface, stretches, wafts with the weeds. Anyone watching might think he was asleep, but he's wholly present, awake, and never more alert than now for a twitch on the line, silver swirl. A chill. The sun's gone over and down. And when guests gone, he steps indoors to the warm and his wife in the kitchen cooking. He smiles at her with joy. Thank you.
Yeah, so great. I loved that first poem you read when I had to read it. I read it because it was it commended or was it third prize? It was it was, yes, it had a prize in the last competition we did. And I really enjoyed reading it because I feel like you do about driving. And I read it in a total panic.
I don't do it anymore. My eyes aren't up to it.
What, the driving or the poem?
And you had a lot of sympathy with George. I like that portrait of an enthusiastic fisherman. And Matz, can we hear from you now, please?
Yes, I've got a couple of poems, perhaps appropriately, since I'm more or less at the end of this show, that they're about endings of one sort or another.
Right.
Usual miserable stuff, but there you are. The first one is Le Déjeuner sur l'herbe, after that Manet painting, you know, the one with posh gentlemen and somewhat scantily dressed ladies. Well, scantily dressed is an overstatement, I think. This isn't quite like that. So it's Le Déjeuner sur l'herbe, after Manet. Below the dry stone wall, the hay is near to cutting. A tablecloth, lightly sprung, undulates between crumb-strewn plates, empty cans, and the apples you brought, but we didn't eat. Across the fields, a tractor's puttering. Still time, lying by your shadow, feeling grass scratching on my skin. Still time, before a school bell rings and a 777 comes home. Still time. Yet the grasses are trembling, silently, and softly, I am crying, and you are crying. How close, how very close, the sense of an ending. And the second one is Being and Nothingness. It's based on Clive James's memoir poem, The River in the Sky, and also with echoing Jeremy, echoing from 2001, the film. Being and Nothingness. Oxygen and an intravenous drip sustain you as you lie amid the technology of survival. Half awake, you sense the current easing you along some tributary of that river in the sky, at which you'd gaze wondering as a child. You're drifting towards your journey's end, till the calm is blitzed by an explosion of light, as if some architect's doodlings in perspective, kaleidoscopic in every colour imaginable, are hurtling at you from the infinite beyond. You don't realise that this is not a plasma generated by impact with an atmosphere, but merely your brain draining away your memories, life with family and friends, and as a celebrity on terrestrial TV, the words you'd read and words you'd penned, places you'd visited, dreams you'd enjoyed, music slipping you from the surliest of bonds. You end up alone in an ornate room, somewhere near Jupiter, poking at food that looks appetizing but is devoid of taste. Then turn to see yourself lying in the bed, the veins in your temples and hands standing out from flesh no longer taut. The aged you rises, gazes beyond the surface at the black monolith suddenly present in the room, but sees no moon, no earth, no stars, no galaxies, no fetal star child suspended within the cosmos, but only a blackness, blacker than Vantablack, the finality of existence, inscrutable, transcendent. Thank you.
Oh, that's an evocation of what's coming, isn't it? Goodness me. What did you? I don't know the poem by Clive James. What's it called?
It's a whole book, a long poem. It's called The River in the Sky.
The River in the Sky.
It's a slim hardback.
So the hallucinations or dreams or whatever in your poem, do they occur in Clive James's poem?
No, the hallucinations are the 2001 film bit. The first bit is Clive James, and the second bit is 2001, roughly speaking.
It's very vivid.
Wound them together.
Very vivid. Thank you. And last and never least, Jenna Plewes, who is just back from an exciting adventure somewhere. Where were you? West Country?
Yes, down in the West Country. We arrived in pouring rain to have no power in the dark,
Oh,
which finally got resolved all right. And then we came home in the pouring rain. But in between, it was lovely.
that's good.
Right, the first poem I'm going to read comes from this, which was published last year by Hedgehog. And just a very short poem called Wind Dies at Sunset. Gentle the wild bird of your heart, stroke its soft feathers, feel its pulse slow, settle under your fingers. Breathe stillness flowing through evening's wide windows. Embers cool and soften, fade, amber, abalone, ash. Woolen blankets heat the horizon, purple darkens to slate. Bats unstitch a silvery sky, darkness slips through the seams. The deep blue silence of the night folds around your soul. So that's that. And the second one, Gillian Clarke wrote a lament for the wild creatures we've lost to global warming. And I've been thinking about that, and I've written my own lament of what we humans are losing. Lament for the girl living her life on screen, for the boy with a knife in the playground, for the street child, the gang, for the sofa surfer and the runaway, the girl asleep in a doorway, the singer in the underpass, for the man camping each night in his car, the woman at the food bank, for the door key teenager, for the post office and the bank, the butcher and the dress shop, shuttered and up for sale, for the ties that held us together, fraying and falling apart, for the cold winds scattering. And the third one, I was commissioned to write a carol for Christmas that's being set to music by the choir master and a very good musician. So I haven't heard the music yet, but I'll read the carol anyway, so it's as we're coming to Christmas. A carol for Christmas, no, it's called A Place to Call Home. A star beams down on Bethlehem, gilds the sky with light. Weary folks seek refuge, a place to sleep tonight. Mary sees the star blaze, her time is drawing near. Her journey's nearly over. See, the town is here. Travelling onwards by highways and byways, seeking a shelter, a place to call home. Every room is taken, doors closed for the night. Mary's tired and weary now, no shelter is in sight. A stable for a bedroom, somewhere at last to stay. The warm breath of cattle, the sweet smell of hay. Travelling onwards by highways and byways, seeking a shelter, a place to call home. Shepherds see a baby, wise men greet a king. Mary holds her newborn son, hears the heavens ring. He'll drink the milk of suffering, he'll taste the world's disdain, our weakness and our cruelty, our arrogance and shame. Travelling onwards by highways and byways, seeking a shelter, a place to call home. Herod sends an edict, kill every baby son. No longer safe in Bethlehem, they must journey on. Egypt is their refuge, far from heaven, Herod's men. Years pass, and then rejoicing they come home again. Starlight, star bright, guide us safely through the night. Long ago a baby came, a bright star marked the place, shimmered in the darkness, the loneliness of space. We search among the galaxies, however far we roam, love still comes to take our hands and gently lead us home. So there we are.
That's a very lovely poem to finish with. on this. Well, it's a Christmas edition, I think. I didn't advertise that because we try not to dictate to people what they ought to write. So it's been lovely tonight. We've had such a big range, as usual, a big range of subject matter and styles and reading styles. It's been very, very much worth doing it for me. I was tearing my hair out at about 7 o'clock because I thought that none of you would be able to get into the Zoom, but it all came out well. I'm sorry that Gerald didn't make it, but I'll be in touch with him.